Hello, beautiful Gemini, and welcome to our April 2021 reading and a very colorful, high energy month in general for the collective. This is just one of those months we're working through April and Taurus, or Aries and Taurus energy, which to me is all about like the forward motion of life, the momentum of life, things bursting into movement, and there's just an energy to it of that. And almost all of April we continue to have this really intense direct energy with only Pluto at the very end of the month going retrograde, and it is beginning over the course of the next several months our outer planet retrogrades. We'll get into that another month, but in April there's this really vibrant forward motion energy, and I've been reminding everyone to make sure you're taking good breaks, getting plenty of rest in between all those bursts of new ideas, new energy expenditure, new growth, new identity connections, whatever it's looking like for you. Just make sure that you are giving yourself appropriate rest to match the expansion. You want to have a balance going on there. Otherwise, it's unsustainable. And even if you think you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, you could actually be slowing yourself down by overdoing it. So just a little reminder for this April. You want to make sure you always have balance. And that's actually part of the message that came up for me today when I sat with Gemini energy and I felt through your month ahead. Aries season's really great for Gemini, actually. There's a lot of flow there for friendships, for community, and the Sun, Venus, and Moon are all Sun, Venus, and Mercury are all moving through first Aries, which is that house of, for you, that's going to have a lot to do with friendships and community, and then all three of those move into Taurus, the sign right before yours. And so this month is about the harmonizing of that external thing, right? Those friendships, those community, the way that we develop our identity within our community connections, within our surroundings. And then as we move into Taurus energy, for Gemini, this is going to be about connecting to your soul again. And I think there's something to be said for balancing these two out. Often in the spiritual community, we talk about self-accountability. I talk about that a lot, right? How we use our thoughts, how we think of ourselves, how we write our stories in our minds as being something that can empower or disempower us. Taking good care of the garden of our minds is essential. And if we aren't willing to do that work, we will tend to find that we run into roadblocks in life. But I think it can also go the other way. We can heal and learn and recover and find joy from being in surroundings that support us, from being in friendships and relationships that reflect back to us the things we want to develop and grow in ourselves. And it doesn't just have to be this isolated endeavor where we sit and we meditate and we try to control our thoughts all day long. There's an emptiness to that, and we need both, right? We need both of those. So there's a reciprocity. The other note that came through, I'm going to start shuffling here for my Gemini friends this month, was focus on the embers, like these little sparks, not even embers actually, sparks of insight, creativity, warmth. They may be small, they may be subtle, they may just be the tip of something that you can't quite put all the pieces together in your mind. You may not know exactly what it's going to look like in a few months or in a year, right? And you don't need to worry about that. I want you to focus more on those sparks, those little moments that are lighting you up, because this month is actually quite potent for you to bring more of your soul into the physical world, bring more of your spirit into the physical world. I think about how the rest of this year we have this North Node in Gemini. We've had it for getting close to a year now in your sign, and the rest of 2021, we have this North Node in Gemini, which means that there's a lot of support going on in the bigger picture, behind the scenes for you. Two cards wanted to come out. The Devil and the Four of Wands. Very interesting. Very interesting. But that North Node is really helpful. It's pulling you forward. It's pulling you not even forward. That's not actually spatially. It's kind of it's not about being forward. It's about being more with yourself and allowing that to flow through you from right where you're standing, and to be okay with yourself just the way you are. And that being something that allows you to see and feel those sparks that want to come out. Four of Cups, classic. There's that rest balance, right? And so it's about this harmonizing. I don't want you to just contract into yourself and daydream of being in birds, and I don't want you to just focus on the external. It's about finding harmony. And King of Wands. Okay, we have very vibrant energy in this reading. It is not subtle. No. And I kind of like that. I like that for Gemini. I feel like Gemini, you can roll with just some upfront messages coming at you. There's a lot to do with balancing here, and with looking at what's bringing you joy and what's working for you. Let's talk about this. We start with the Devil. Now, the Devil isn't a negative card inherently. He brings up great questions though. I think Devil is like such a useful card. I think especially in our culture right now, Devil to me, he has a lot to do with tradition and the way we've done things for a long time. So generationally, you might have been handed, a blueprint for how you are successful in life, how you get work done, what, life looks like at 20, 30, 40, what have you. And the Devil really, represents a lot of that tradition. And he represents sometimes when we are continuing to do something, even when we know we've changed, inside, outside, physically, mentally, spiritually, however. And so the Devil, whenever he shows up, it's like, there's a question being asked here about, are you doing things just because you know how to do them? You've done them for a long time. They feel familiar. They feel like the right thing to do. They feel like the thing that is, everybody in your family's done it for as long as you can remember, so why not keep doing it, right? It's those kinds of things, and it doesn't have to be generational. It doesn't have to be culture-based. It can also just be something that's going on with you, something that isn't working for you anymore. But the Devil is going to ask that question. What are you continuing to keep yourself chained to because it's familiar, because it feels like it's supposed to be? Because here's the thing. The Devil is this very subterranean energy. It's the inversion of like the Lovers, which is the Gemini card, where the lovers are out in the sunshine, in nature, totally free of their mental chatter about their embarrassment of themselves. And the Lovers here are chained up in the subterranean, right? But what's really interesting is the Four of Wands. To me, like this is celebratory figures as well. This is a wedding imagery, right? Celebration imagery, graduation imagery. But it's bright, it's warm, it's welcoming, it's playful, it's positive. It's got like this sense of lightness to it. Four of Wands is not about an onerous commitment. It's not about a commitment that when you make it, you feel a pit in your stomach. You feel constriction in your throat. You feel horror or dread. It's a feeling of excitement and joy, even if it is a big step. And I think there's a discernment going on here, and something to listen to as well with any commitments you're making this month. Anything you're feeling you need to commit to, whether it's like a program in school or a relationship or a community project or anything. It could be anything. Notice if it's feeling like the Devil energy where you're feeling a little chained, or if it's feeling exciting and like just the precipice of something new. And you're going to want to follow that Four of Wands, which is leading you forward. And the other thing with Devil energy is overwork. Working too hard. Even if it's something you love, even if it's something that's really great for you, we can get obsessive, we can get anxious, we can get ourselves really worked out, we can get our nervous systems running on high alert, even with things we love. And you're going to want to notice that too and make sure you're getting the rest. So Four of Cups is an important energy. It's essential because Four in tarot is about a culminating point. So the Four of Wands is the celebration, the beginning of something new. Four of Cups is about taking the time to slow down, sit still, appreciate where you've gotten to, relax enough to let yourself see this next phase. And we can't skip this as much as we want to. We just want to skip straight to the action. It's so important to have this rest moment. It's so important to slow down and just take in everything we've learned, everything we've grown out of, everything that we want to embrace. And like, that's what I'm seeing here too. You know, you may need that Four of Cups energy to really ask those devil questions about where you're burning out, where you're feeling stuck, where you're feeling like you're making commitments that feel awful, give you that icky dread feeling, right? We don't want Geminis to go there. We want to keep you in that mutable air joy where you're able to play and create and move about in a way that's sustainable, in a way that allows you to make deep, sustainable connections with others, right? And that means we need to say yes to things that we actually want to say yes to, right? So the Four of Cups here is a meditative, just kind of self-reflection. Just take the time to be really honest with yourselves. Now, here's the thing. We got King of Wands here at the end. So I think as we head into Taurus season, you may find your energy starting to wind down in Taurus season actually for a little bit. Not necessarily like you're feeling like you just want to lay in bed all day, but kind of like you're about to break into Gemini season, right? The energy all in Taurus here before your birthday season is a time of recharge, reflection, preparation, and I think also acceptance, I guess is the word. So King of Wands, you may have some fiery personalities around you. That's great. I think that works really well with gems. But the King of Wands for me is about really owning your identity, owning your space in the world, owning where you want to set your visions. You know, King of Wands sets his vision. Yes, this can be a very stubborn energy, and that is the shadow side of it. It can be a little stubborn, a little arrogant when taken too far. But the King of Wands in a healthy representation of what he's all about is like really just being like, yes, I am the captain of this ship. I am setting my sights on what I want. And, you know, I say this often, you know, a lot of times we think we need to come up with things we want. We need to want, like, I don't know, a yacht and a really fast car and a giant apartment and like whatever it is, you know, we come up with these lists. Often what we want has to do with something we want to create, something we want to experience, something that we want to try that we don't know how to do yet, but we want to learn. We want to have the fun of learning how to be vulnerable, learning how to do something that's a little scary, you know, like learning a new language can be a little scary, let me tell you. And just things like that. Like that's what King of Wands is about. Like, what do we want to create? Where do we want to put our energy? Where do we want to feel the thrill of opening ourselves up to this world? And that's what I want you to focus on this month. And that goes back to that message I had about those embers, those sparks, those little things that are pulling at you. Listen to them. Let yourself set your sights on them. Don't quash them. Don't put them out with a whole bunch of bucket of water and say, I'm just going to stick with what I already know how to do, right? I'm just going to stick with the same old, same old. It's like these other cards are telling me that there's doors open and possibilities open for you to have different types of commitment. If you're in a relationship that's just feeling stale because the person's not giving, you know, the person isn't the person to give you maybe that committed relationship that feels good and feels easy and feels soft and feels loving, or you know, there's a overworking routine where you just never feel like you get enough sleep. Any of these things, this is a time to review them. And like I said, there's also this ignition switch getting hit. So I love that for you guys. And before I go, I just wanted to also mention, you know, we have some really powerful moons, and I think these might be useful for you, gems. We have a new moon in Aries early in the month on the 11th. Friends and community, once again, setting intentions for the people you want to have around you to honor who you're becoming, right? And a full moon in Scorpio on the 26th. in your 6th house of habits and routines. So what are your habits and routines? Do they feel good? Do they not? You don't have to judge them. They don't have to be, it's not about being like the perfect goop or holistic life representative for a magazine. This is your personal map for what feels good for you and your daily rituals and routines, whatever that looks like. A great moon to really look at that, release, let go of anything that's not serving you. This month in many ways is a restart month. You know, even though we started Aries season in March, April is one of the first months where I'm seeing it's like we got to set intentions based on who we are now after this last year. We're not setting them because of last year. We're setting them because wherever we are now in April is important, and we're moving forward with that. And so we're doing some house cleaning collectively in our own personal lives. Everybody's kind of having to take a look around and really be intentional and really like speak out loud and write down what it is you want to build next. So keep that in mind. We are going to be doing so many fun activations and chats every single week over on my Patreon. It's a really great way to support me and to get a little closer and to have a really fun community experience over there. So I'd love to see you gems over there, and I would love to see you here as well. So please share, let me know how your April is going in the comments. Even if I don't get a chance to answer all the comments, I do love to read them. So please feel free to share. I'd love to see you on my Instagram or on my website as well. So those are all places you can find me and hang out with me. I'll leave all the links below. And of course, I'm wearing PinkLune as always, so I'll leave her Etsy shop below as well. And I will see you, beautiful Gemini, in May when we shift into Gemini season. How exciting. I love it. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm sending you my love and talk to you very soon.